What's up, people? We're live. Yeah. We are live. Just let me get the comments up. How we doing, everyone? Welcome. Who we got in the building? Nice and early. JM Royals, how you doing? Cracking balls. What's up? Anyone else? Drop a comment. Here we go. Coming in now. Bad and Brown. Evening. Royal Morphs, how you doing? Andy Barton, how you doing, mate? What's up? Python Junkie. Sam, hello, mate. Listened to your podcast earlier. Did well seeing as you're by yourself. I can do that. I can chat shit for an hour. Trust me. No, but I really enjoyed that, actually. Morph Matrix, how you doing? So let's get into it. First of all, like always, sticker shout outs. Got to shout out these guys. Pacific Rim dropped me about 5 or 6 different stickers. Went to town. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Oh shit, that's upside down. Pacific Rim Serpents. If you're not already, give them a follow. If you want any of my stickers, like always, drop me a DM. I'll sort that out for you. Also, if it's your first time here, please subscribe to the channel so you never miss a podcast. We're getting close. Well, we're getting nearly to halfway to the 250 subscriber giveaway. Got plenty of merch to give away and a few bits and pieces from other people as well. So if you want to be in with a chance to win that, please subscribe. Great start today. Subscribe to the channel, please. Also, I said this last week. I got quite a few people reply to me. Who would you like to see on the Snake Room podcast? Get at me and I'll see if I can make it happen. Yeah. Also, at the end of the podcast tonight, I have a quick announcement. Just a little change to the next episode. That's all I'm going to say right now. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, tonight I'm joined by Kieran from KJD. We'll get him on in a sec. Just a few more shout outs. Oh shit. Sam again. TA Exotics, how you doing? Adam. Vivid Skin Reptiles. Marvelous Balls, how you doing, friend? Woodshed Royals, welcome along. Okay, trying to get Kieran on. So, yeah. How you doing, man?
Hi, mate. You all right?
Yeah, very, very, very good.
Good.
Cool. Let's get into it then. I see you've hit the ground running this season.
Yeah.
Is that to say?
Yeah, a great season. Started pairing a bit earlier than usual. Usually I don't start pairing until the end of November, beginning of December. But this October, it was absolutely pissing down. Can I swear?
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, it was absolutely pissing down. And I thought, something, sod it. I'll put a few pairs together, and they locked. So I thought, throw a few more together, and they locked. And near enough everything I've paired has either ovulated, is close to ovulated, or I'm waiting on eggs now.
Excellent, mate. It's definitely the way to do it. A lot of people would love their seasons to go like that every year.
Yeah, it's
so,
I was just going to say it's shaping up to be the best season I've ever had. So lots to look forward to.
Wicked. So how long have you actually been keeping snakes?
Keeping snakes since I was 10. Got one for me 10. Yeah, that's going back. I'm 36 now, so it's going back a bit. This is when most of the stuff coming in was either wild caught or it's very rare to see a captive bred snake. So,
Really?
yeah. On and off. I've never. Go on, sorry, mate.
Yeah, I was going to say, what when you were 10, was it a ball python that you got first?
Yeah, it was a normal female. My dad used to work above a pet shop. He was a taxi driver, so above the taxi office there was a pet shop downstairs. I'd go in and I'd be holding it every day. It was they had milk snakes and king snakes and stuff, but it was the royal that really sort of captured the young 10-year-old boy.
Yeah. Wicked. So have you had snakes the whole way through since you were 10, or did you like drop out of it?
It was a little while. I was in the army and stuff like that. You know, my mum hated them. She wasn't going to look after them. So I ducked out for a bit there. Came back and I did little bits of venomous keeping and stuff like that, and then back into the ball pythons when you were.
Okay. You know, what venomous did you have?
I had a Gaboon Viper, a Boom Slang. I didn't. Shouldn't really be saying this, but at the time I had a European adder as well that was wild caught, but they're protected now. So
right, I see. Okay. Did you have a license for them, or did you need a license?
Yeah, you have to have a DWA license.
Okay.
You have to apply for that, and you have vets coming around, inspecting your setup. You know, even things down to like you've got to have a big window in the door to make sure nothing's escaped before you walk into the room. You get all that signed off, and then somewhere along the lines, when you finally come to your application, they'll either grant it or not.
Okay. Yeah. I to be honest, I didn't really know what you sort of needed to get a license to keep venomous. So that's interesting.
It's not just
not that I'd ever go out and get a venomous snake. I couldn't see myself doing that. You know, ball pythons are enough for me, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the really captivating thing about it is when we're breeding royals, we're breeding for colour and pattern mutations and what looks nice. But what looks nicer than a venomous snake or normal wild type? I mean, like a Gaboon, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a beautiful snake. It really is. It doesn't need. I know there's an albino one, but you don't need to put it in some moss or anything. You know, the stuff you shouldn't touch is always the most appealing, isn't
it? Yeah. So did you have to get the Gaboon imported, or was it already in this country when you purchased? Or
no, it was wild caught. You have to get them imported. It was a lot of shady dealings, we'll call it, at the time, because it was a lot easier than it is now to import animals.
Right.
But back then it was. Yeah.
So what year was this when you had the venomous?
It was. I started off doing the training with it, the mentoring with it, around the end of 2006, and it was 2007 that I had my first venomous snake.
Right. Did you free handle?
No.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah,
I mean,
who's the guy in America? Tyler Nolan. Do you follow him on Instagram?
Oh yeah. I don't follow him on Instagram, but I watch YouTube videos and stuff.
Yeah. His was it free handles his rattlesnake?
Yeah.
I saw him do it the other day. Actually. Yeah. So big rattlesnake.
Bit as well, hasn't he? He's been bit by a king cobra.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it was a king cobra he sold to a friend that he produced himself. He sold it to a friend, and I think they were.
He sold it. He sold it to Tom Crutchfield. He did a video on it. Bloody hell, must have been maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. He did a video on, you know, the whole bite, what happened before, what he was doing, and you know, he blames everything on himself. He you know, he doesn't blame the snake once, but if he's going on, he's like, yeah, we knew she was a bit cantankerous because she was in shed. I was like, well, why'd you mess with her then?
Yeah. I think when they shoot in a YouTube video at the time or something like that.
I'm not sure. It could have been, yeah. I can't remember exactly. I think that they took some people down to Tom's because Tom's garden is like, it's a wonderland, isn't it? I'd love a walk around there. You know, the stuff that he's got, and he's one of the very old pioneers of the hobby. Any time he's going back, I'd love to sit there and just pick his brain on so much stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe I'll try and hit him up for the podcast here. Never know.
Yeah, it'd be good watching.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you said you got your first ball python when you were 10. So when obviously when did you start breeding?
About 2015. I paired a normal to a normal. I had a male and a female, and you know, it's a lot's changed. We've learned a lot more over the years. So they lived together. They bred. I totally unprepared for it. So sort of made a makeshift incubator with a light bulb and some other sorts of stuff. One egg survived, and then the thought never really entered my mind again until I seen the pied. When I seen a pied, I can't remember, was it in a magazine or on one of the forums or something? And I thought, wow, you know, like, how can that be the same snake? With the white and the pattern and stuff like that. And I just thought I will have one of them. But back then they were a little bit costly.
Just a bit. Yeah. What sort of price were they when you first started looking at pieds?
I think a visual pied was probably 25 grand. Jesus. Something like that. Yeah, I mean, poss hets were going for 5 grand. That's if they were poss het, but that's another story.
That's mental.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it though. The spider, when the spider first made an appearance, it was marketed. I think that was $50,000.
Yeah, that's. And what can you pick them up for now? Shit,
We're giving them away.
Yeah. I was about to say, no, try and give them away. But no, yeah, that's how this hobby industry has changed. Because even now, you look at the brand new morphs that are coming out, and I don't think you'll ever get a morph priced, a single recessive priced that high ever again. I may be wrong.
No.
But you look at, like, you know, you look at what the newer ones, Sunset and Puzzle and stuff. If you were to buy a straight up Sunset or Puzzle, you'd pay nowhere near that now. I mean, off the top of my head, I looked how much, probably pick each of them up for $3 grand maybe.
I don't know how true it is, but I have heard that Sunsets are going for like 7.
7, right? Okay.
Yeah,
it's well off 25.
And I think I'll know somebody that's recently bought a Puzzle female, breeder female, ready to go, and he can't remember what he paid for it, but could have been around the 5 mark. So
right, for a ready breeder female.
Proven, mate. Proven.
Wow. That's not a bad price at all.
No, it's not.
Jeez.
It's I've seen it. It's like put a male to that, and I reckon 3 locks he'll have a clutch.
Yeah, jeez, man. Yeah, I'd love to be able to spend some money like that, but unfortunately, at the moment, I can't. But
I'd love
you know,
to spend like that.
yeah. But you know, this hobby, you work with what you've got.
I mean, as funny as it sounds, even though it's priced so high, I've got no interest in sunset. I don't like it. It doesn't appeal to me. I am looking forward to seeing an Ultramel sunset. I think if anything can change my mind on it, it'll be putting the Ultramel in. But
yep,
it's just not for me. That's the good thing about this hobby is there's something out there for everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I would, if I had the choice, I'd rather a puzzle over a sunset. But I haven't seen a sunset in the flesh, so I'm still reserved on that.
Yeah, I've seen a sunset and I've seen a puzzle. I mean, they're both aged a bit, you know. One, I think they're both proven, so that goes. They're over a year old. I think I'd breed a female Ultramel over them both.
Yeah, as well. You like to say, you know, there's so many different morphs nowadays that you know you don't have to like them all, and you've still got so much to play with. It's crazy nowadays. I mean, especially from yourself. You know, you've started quite a while ago when you know there weren't as many genes knocking about. So it's incredible how much it's the gene pool has grown in ball pythons. It's just crazy. Like the way ball pythons are going, and like the rest, like other snakes have just sort of stayed still. Where like ball pythons exploded, like I say, with all the different morphs. To be fair, you know, I'm not too into any other snakes, so I don't know if there's new morphs coming out of, you know, boas and stuff like that. But yeah,
I mean,
definitely ball pythons is the place to be. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a few other bits. I mean, got a hognose, and I've got the berm, got an Aki monitor as well. But you know, there's no interest in breeding them or getting more than one of them or anything like that. They're just strictly pets. And to be honest, I'm thinking of moving the berm on because I want to focus on the Royals. And
yeah,
you know, she's only she's 9 foot now, but eventually she's going to be 16 and upwards. You know, that's a lot of Royal Python rackage I can get in that sort of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know, if your space, if space is at a premium, yeah, you know, it's a big old gap you've got to have to keep a snake that size. And I think if he's still here, I think Sam was talking about getting rid of his maybe the other day. Just for space as well. So yeah, kind of in the same boat there. But going back, the incubator you made for your first clutch, you said you used a light bulb.
Yeah.
How did that work?
Well, put it in how it didn't set a light, to be honest, is a mystery. Electrics isn't my strongest point anyway, but I had, like, you know, the little bedside lamps and stuff like that. So I pierced a hole through a box, you know, like the way you see them shipping in America, where they put it's not the poly boxes we use, but they use like polystyrene sheets as a wall and the lid sort of thing.
Yep.
So yeah, so obviously polystyrene keeps heating. So I did that. I cut up some polystyrene and put it inside the shoebox. It was, and I got a really strong red bulb. You know, like the red bulbs that you can put in the bayonet fittings.
Yeah.
And I put that in. Yeah, and because I think it was such a little space, it kept it reasonably warm, but there was no stat. There was it probably cooked. They were probably poached within the first 2 days or something like that. It was. I'm surprised. Like I say, one lived. So I kept that as well. But yeah, that's going back. There was, makes me sound really old, but there was no. The forums hadn't even been. There was no internet back
Yeah,
then.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so to be able to research was difficult, and people were still learning themselves. Over the years, a lot has changed. I used to keep them in a fish tank because you see them in glass setups in the shops and stuff.
yeah, yeah. People still do that as well, which is another story completely. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, going back that far, you're pretty much on your own. You have to figure it out, or you had to do something, I guess.
yeah. I mean, I went to the library, being the enthusiastic young one I was. Um, they ordered in a book for me, and it wasn't telling you how to keep them in captivity. It was like, where they come from, and it was in books of other snakes that were showing you the insides, the internal organs and stuff. It didn't really teach you much, so you sort of adapt as you grow.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you said you was unprepared, I've had a clutch. I've been unprepared, but it was only a few years ago, so I was able to get like a heat mat in a cooler,
Yeah,
and then just put a load of water bottles on the bait on the bottom, and then just put like what was it, a lunchbox with a bit
yeah,
of perlite in, and sort of I not all of them survived there either. So if it catches you by surprise, and you've just got to do the best that you can. It's
yeah.
but then
And
obviously if you go through that, you're going to be what's the word? You're going to be prepared next time, without a
yeah,
doubt.
and the good thing is, I'll say it's a good thing. As good as it is, and it has more bad points. The internet, social media out there. There's not many different Facebook groups and in, um, Instagram posts and YouTube videos where for somebody that's bought a snake and they've gone down in the morning and they see it coiled around eggs that are clueless. You could put a post on one of the groups or something, and hopefully someone would come back to you and help you out a bit. The knowledge is a lot more easier to access now.
Yeah, but you've got just as much chance of getting nailed to the wall if you put a post up like that and say you haven't got an incubator.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's
Yeah,
yeah, that's why it's a good thing and a bad thing. The Facebook and the reptile community, it's different, shall we say.
yeah, different. So anyway, yeah. So you bred them, and you had one survive. Did you keep it or
No,
still?
no. Yeah, when I left the house at 17, my mum said, "Them snakes either go with you or they find somewhere else." Like she wasn't the biggest fan. She still isn't.
Right.
Even
Yeah.
when she comes around the house, like my snake room is the first room that you come to as you walk in the door. Even when
Okay.
she walks in the house, she has a little judder on the way past the door and walks back and that.
Yeah. So okay. So that was a long time ago. That was nearly 20 years. You had your
Yeah,
first clutch. Jeez, man.
yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah.
really was nothing.
Nothing
No
at
internet,
all.
anything. Jesus. So then you got out of the hobby for a bit then.
Yeah, went and did my thing. Came back. Um, I I had snakes, but I was moving around from A to B. I could never settle.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I met the missus, and I mean, I don't remember saying this, but on the first date and all that, apparently I turned around to her and said, "Shall we get a snake?" And the rest is history.
Yeah. You got to lay it down early. Like,
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I knew it wasn't happening at home, so I had to. If I'd
yeah,
gone back to my mum's, there'd be no chance.
that's kind of make or break on a first date as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but no, so it worked out. So yeah, then what sort of did you just start collecting snakes again for just to have snakes, or did you have a plan when you got back into it, or how did it
The
go?
the plan was to get a snake, and I got a vivarium and set it all up. Made it all nice and lovely looking and that. And then we got another snake. Um, did the same thing, and there was a lot of impulse buys where
Yeah,
I'd go on pre-loved and I'd go, oh yeah, 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 I want that, I want that. I'd go and buy that. I walked into one house and they was only selling one snake, but they had no heating or anything like that on him, and they turned around and said, "Oh, they only ate yesterday." I was like, "No, no, they didn't." I ended up buying that whole collection, just thinking that I was going to be the hero.
yeah,
So we bought the whole collection and the rack. Um, so that was the first rack, and then I made one. I made a rack out of MDF, um, and then it just I paired a few, but there was nothing to write home about at the time. I sold them to pet shops and that. It was like a pastel to a normal, or what was it? A, a phantom, a phantom to a pastel, stuff like that. And then obviously as you start looking in on the pictures on Facebook and you find Morph Market, it sort of spirals out of control there then, doesn't it?
yeah. So what year was it when you started getting back into it?
Um, Getting back into it with probably 2009, 2008, but
Okay.
on the scale that I've got now, a series is probably 5 years.
5 years. Right. Okay. Okay. So yeah, you go on like pre-loved and Gumtree and stuff like that, and before you even look, you think if there's one within 20 miles and it's
Yeah,
up to a certain amount, I'm having it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's just like it's kind of like, yeah, I'm definitely buying a snake today. I'm going to find one. Don't
yeah.
yeah, it kind of doesn't matter what it is.
No,
And
normal and
I think
280 quid.
yeah, yeah. I think if everyone's honest, we've all impulsed buy like that before. Maybe not off Gumtree and stuff, but obviously Facebook used to allow sales and stuff like that. Yeah, we've all done it.
Yeah, yeah.
I've done it.
And then,
Um,
yeah, and then there's Morph Market, isn't there? It's like Morph Market is the Amazon for snakes. It's
Absolutely. Yeah.
and even now with walkers and that, you can have like Amazon Prime. It can be here in 24 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. That is a bad thing. Yeah. Yeah. I hadn't really
Mm,
thought about it like that. Amazon Prime for snakes. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, so you got back into it properly 5 years ago. Do you remember what your first pairing was when you properly started up again?
Yeah, so I tell a lie, it was 6 years ago. And I know that because the first pairing was het exanthic to het exanthic.
Was it hip?
The first proper pairing. No. And I I did it again. I repeated the pairing again with a visual exanthic, and it didn't prove out. So they weren't het when I think about it.
Bastard.
It could have been. Yeah, yeah, it was happening, wasn't it? I mean, it still happens, unfortunately. People are struggling to sell something, and I'll tell you what, I'll put on Posset Pied. or posset
Yeah,
clown. That'll
yeah,
get
yeah. I'll put
yeah,
posset and it'll be gone in 20 minutes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
with
I wouldn't
well,
buy a POS het from someone I don't know now, or someone who's
no,
not credible on, like, Instagram. Like, let's say if they've got an Instagram account and you can go through and look through all their animals and that, if they've got like a POS het, you'd expect to see whatever it's POS het for in the collection on, pictures on
yeah,
Instagram and stuff like that. Sort of do a bit of detective work and sort of figure out who they are, or if they're trying to fuck you around and stuff like that.
yeah. I mean, it helps to, again, going back to social media and stuff like that. The people put themselves out there. If I'm doing a het to a visual pairing, or like this year I've paired het clown, sorry, exanthic female to fire clown male. So I posted pictures of locks and stuff like that. So there's a paper trail sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've got to a point now where I only buy off a handful of people, and it's nothing against anybody else, but they're producing the animals that I want for my projects.
Yeah.
It's it's handy to build up the friendships as well, so you know who you can. If it, like we're going back, you're saying if you buy a POS het, then it is a POS het, and if it doesn't prove out, they'll sort you out somewhere along the way. You're taking the risk and stuff like that, but you, you're buying it because you know that person's done that pairing, and it's possible that there is hets that come out of it.
Yeah.
Whereas people just want to flog what they can't get rid of, especially now there's been no Doncaster for 2 years, for a year.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah. So on that, are you going to the next Doncaster show if it goes ahead, or?
Yeah. I like Donny. It's, as much as I like the ball pythons, I like reptiles on the whole, and some of the stuff that they have there is, it's nice just to see it.
Yeah. I guess Donny's not too far away from you either, is it?
No, it's about an hour and a half or so, I'd say.
Yeah.
Go early in the morning as well, so there's no traffic, so you probably get there in about an hour and 10.
Yeah. Nice. Have you gone quite often before? Like,
yeah, the last 3 years I've been to every show bar one. Before that, like I'd go to one a year. If that, I'd just turn up.
Yeah. Cool. So going back to your season this year, sort of, what was the first lot of eggs what was the pairing of the first lot of eggs that hit the ground?
First eggs I got was from the highway, just bred to an ivory. Just bring that. I want female ivory would be nice as well, but obviously I want a male highway just to put about to some females and put into my clown projects and maybe my pies and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I guess them eggs have not hatched yet.
No, they were laid. They were laid on the 1st, so probably they're due around the 1st of May.
Okay.
But it'd probably be closer to the end of April. I'd say probably around the last 3 days of April. In April, I'd say.
Yeah. Do you run your incubator slightly higher?
I have done this year. Usually, I run the stat shows 88, so the tubs are probably 87 or something like that. But it might prove out to be nothing. It might prove to be something. I've got a theory that royals are sort of temperature sex determined a bit.
Right. Okay. I've kind of heard this from other people as well.
People have said that it's been proven that it's not. I'm 2 years into collecting my own data from it. You know, it might turn out to be just another little theory or something like that gets blown away in the wind. But the last 2 years, while I've been incubating at that temperature, I've had, I'd go as far as to say, between 94 and 98% more males than females.
Wow.
Over the whole season.
Yeah.
I've spoke to a few different people about it that incubate higher, and they get predominantly female clutches. So it's just a little something to play around with.
Yeah. Is there another type of reptile that it is proven in?
So yeah, leopard geckos.
That's right.
You can incubate for temperature in leopard geckos, but apparently, if you incubate in the sort of mid-90s, you make what they call a hot female. That everything that you pair your male to, everything that you put your male in, she'll just rip it to shreds. They're just really aggressive females.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I think you can do it with crocodilians as well.
Okay. Cool. Can't mix alcohol and morph market. Never tried it myself.
I don't drink, so luckily there's none of that beer fear anymore. Oh my god, what have I ordered?
Yeah. I'd rather spend the beer money on another something, to be honest. Yeah. So how many clutches are you going for this season?
I've paired 12 females. 12. Yeah, I've paired 12 females, and I'm thinking about doing one more pairing. And I think, let me see now, 1, 2, 6. Well, 9 ovulations, and obviously I've had 3 clutches. So,
shit, man.
Yeah, it's starting out to be a good year.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. How many clutches did you get last season?
I got, I want to say 6. Yeah, 6, because I got one. I got one that hatched in December. So yeah.
What was that?
It was, I paired a NG Fire Mojave Pinstripe to just a pastel, because I love Pinstripe, and Pinstripe's great in it, Sam. So yeah, but last year, I don't know what it was, but I had a couple of bad clutches. I had a pied clutch there was some kink babies in it. There was one in there. It was an absolute train wreck.
Right.
And I mean, it was nothing. They could all eat and they could pass food and stuff like that. But I just moved them on. I gave them away to people, and I gave them to people that weren't breeders or anything like that. And I think there was 3 that were fine in the clutch, so I sold them.
Yeah.
But I had a clutch of a blackhead clutch it was, and for some reason they were just crawling out and dying.
Right. Okay.
So
I've not had that, apart from, like I say, my first clutch that I wasn't prepared for. I had 8 eggs. 4 of them survived. 3 of them sort of climbed out the egg and was sort of hanging out the egg dead, and then one didn't even make it out of the egg. But no, obviously, you got to take the rough with the smooth with this hobby.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, no matter what level that you are at breeding, whether you're Brian Barchek sort of size, or your hobbyist like us with 100, a couple of hundred, or 100 or less animals, that there's going to be casualties. It's life, in it. It's how you deal with it. I think it's
you can be the best, biggest ball python breeder in the world. You're still going to have. I mean, just look at like Miguel last season produced snakes with no eyes and stuff like that. Shit happens. He's putting him in the same incubator in the same place, and that just happened to one clutch or a couple of eggs out of one clutch. Is mad like that.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I say it was bad. Last year, after years of trying, I produced my first visual exanthic. So that, everything in that clutch was all right. That was a bucket list one ticked off.
Yeah.
I have got one of the blackheads that's survived out of that clutch. It's just a pastel blackhead, but it is absolutely amazing. It's the best pastel blackhead I've seen. Might be a bit biased in that, but she is.
Yeah, and obviously blackhead's hitting big right now.
Yeah, you see, blackhead's been there for, I think it's 2002. I think Ralph Davis got the first blackheads, and it just sort of sat there. And even now, with the amount of people working with it, there's so much to do with it. There's a lot of potential in the gene, because we're catching up on years of combos that should have been made.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see the Justin effect as well with the blackhead. Obviously, he dropped the video not too long ago, and now everyone's scooping them all up. Yeah. Good time to sell a blackhead right now.
Yeah. It's if a project's ever struggling, give it to Justin and ask him to do a video on it, and it'll be
be
a gold mine the next
day. Yeah. Sam's just waiting for Justin to drop a pinstripe video. What did he say last night? If he had £1 million, he'd buy all the pinstripes up, send them back to Africa. That was it. Fucking lad.
But you're asking, what about a Lemon Blast Desert Ghost?
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet he wouldn't say no to one of them, would he?
Yeah, too right. He has stated, though, that's the only thing pinstripe looks good in is, I think he said Desert Ghost and Pied as well. So I'll give him that.
Pinstripe, it's good in everything. I
don't mind it. I've got a Lemon Blast. I love it.
I've got a few different pin combos. Like, where is she? This girl. Come on. Just a kingpin vanilla, I think she is, but she is stunning, clean as anything.
Yeah.
Put that into Desert Ghost or Ultramel, or, well, not Pied, it'd be white, but stuff like that.
I saw Austin today on Instagram was doing like asking questions, and someone asked him what the most underrated gene was, and he said vanilla. So, I haven't got any.
I've got a few bits. Where is she? This is one of the favorite vanilla combos that I hatched last year. Is a vanilla spot nose yellow belly, but I mean, you see that head stamp? It's
wow.
Just pretty plain and simple, but it is the one of my favourite snakes from last season.
Yeah, looks really good, really good. So you said the Exantic was on your bucket list. What else is on your bucket list?
This year I'll be hoping to produce my first visual clown. I never used to like clown. And then one day Gavin Boss, he did a banana leopard lesser clutch or something like that, and there was just this one animal on it, and it was amazing. And then that next Donny, I went and bought a little hatchling clown off Bryn Phillips,
Right.
And now she's just ovulated. She's in a pre-lay shed now, so yeah, looking forward to that. Ultramel, I've missed out on Ultramel probably 3 years in a row. I've kept saying I'll humming and hawing, saying yeah, I'll buy one. And then by the time I thought, sorry, I'll get an Ultramel. It's sold out. So
are you doing het to hets?
No, visual to het.
Okay.
I got an Ultramel and a Black Phantom het Ultramel off Gav last year.
Black Phantom.
Yeah, it's his line of Phantom and that, and hopefully I'll get a visual off that. But I want to put the male about a couple of females as well. I want to put Ultramel into Blackhead. I want to put it into Pied, obviously, who doesn't. I want to put it into Pinstripe.
Do you know? I think that looked really cool. I reckon good, actually.
Yeah, I mean, Banana and Pinstripe goes well together, and Ultramel is a lot like Banana, but better. I think that would be a really, and then put that into Desert Ghost or into Pied or even into Clown.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with Desert Ghost. Absolutely. Have you got any DG?
Yeah, I've got a male Enchi Desert Ghost, and I've got a female normal het Desert Ghost. I got her off Sam a couple of months ago.
Okay.
Just again, get the male, throw him around a couple of females, and get I know the females 100% het. I'll know the males will be het. So seems to be the only way into Desert Ghost at the minute is produce your own.
Yeah, I mean, they were kind of sparse to begin with, even when we could buy stuff from Europe. But now, obviously, that bridge is kind of closed for a little while, at least. So to get I think I've seen one het maybe knocking around on Wolf Market. I think that might have been Sam's actually as well. Apart from that, there you can't.
Yeah, see,
it's such a popular gene now.
Yeah, you know why that is, though, don't you? Justin did a video.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it is a great gene. I mean, you think about it, a gene that can take pastel and make it into what it is when you put Desert Ghost into it. It totally changes the snake. When you think of a pastel, you think yellow snake. You don't think of what had happened when. Are we back?
Yeah. Still there.
Yeah. The yellows and the blacks, when you a simple pairing, simple combo, really simple recessives, but it's like the two were made for each other.
Yeah. I mean, I don't not like pastel either. I who was it? I think it was Sean on Sam's podcast said pastel, you put it into anything and it brightens it up. And I kind of agree with her.
Yeah, I mean, there are it. Pastel's one of them that every collection should have. I think you should have your basis of things, and pastel's definitely in. You put it into a lot and it works well, but there's things that you don't. You put it into, yeah, like clown. A pastel clown when it hatches is amazing.
Yeah,
give it a year, and it's a brown clown.
Do you know what? I bought a load of clown stuff. Spent quite a bit of money on it, and they're all sort of. I think the biggest one was 600 grams. I was going to grow them up and then start breeding them. And I won what did I win? A pastel clown male. And I received it and I was like, wow, is that what they look like? And I received it. I sold a lot. I sold all my clown stuff. And then this was probably about 18 months ago. And then it sort of dawned on me, you know what? I should have kept one of them just for the double recessives. And so I had to kind of tail between my legs, go back out and buy another clown and start again, basically. But
yeah,
you live and learn.
I'm sure we've all let stuff go, and then I could have done with that now and regretted it and stuff. I certainly have.
Yeah. So, what would you say your main recessive is?
At the minute, it's clown. The thing with the pied is you can put loads of genes. You can stack the genes in it ridiculously, but it's still going to look the same. It's going to be a snake that's white with a few patches on it. It might be more orange patches or even patches of pinstripe. It's still the same. But with clown, I don't think in fact, I'm pretty sure to say I've never seen two clowns with even the same head stamp. Two pastel clowns with the same head stamp. The pattern on them, even though the clown pattern is pretty much the same, it's still different.
Yeah.
On saying that though, I do need to catch my pied. I do need to get my pied game back up to something.
I was then about to say, do you work with pied at all?
Yeah. I've got a lemon blast het pied that I'm hoping to get breeding next season.
Mm-hmm.
So just that one pairing gives me pastels, lemon blast, pinstripes, all in pied or het pied or something like that. So that just broadens it up again.
Yeah, I think you've got to be very selective of what you work into pied, obviously. Because what's the point of doing a pied when there's about that much colour in it? You might as well go out and buy a bell for seriously less money. I think I've got one pied in my collection. This year I'm trying to go double recessive with DG, but going forward, I think I even want probably more so Enchi or pinstripe, so it has a lot more pattern and color on it, and then sort of work other genes into it as well as them. I mean, I don't think I'd want to do a pairing without one of them two. I mean,
no.
So I do like special pieds. I think they look really awesome. But like, what are the other ones? Like a spider pie doesn't do it for me at all.
You see, it's mad because I love Spider. I'm one of them on Facebook, me, that's on every hate attack post on Spider. I'll defend it to the hilt. And I love Pied, but I put them together and it's just it ruins it. You know, white snake with a bit of pattern on its head.
No, I really like Spider as well. I've got one Spider in my collection, and I don't have an issue with it. That occasionally she'll get excited when she's ready to feed, and sometimes she'll miss her food and headbutt the tub above her. That's the only issue I have every so often with her. But apart from that, she hasn't got a wobble or anything like that. You know, and I'd be happy to buy another Spider.
Yeah, at one stage I had a lot of Spider, but it, you know, it's not because of the stigma that people throw at it and stuff like that. But I've moved it on simply because I need the room. I've done a Spider pairing this year. If none of them sell, I'm happy to keep them all here, sort of thing. It doesn't bother me. But I've had one Spider in the collection, and I've produced one Spider with wobble. Single gene Spider girl that I had, she had wobble, but she'd strike her food every time. She might miss it on the way out of the tub, but on the way back she'd get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And the one Spider, I mean, the baby that I had to get it put to sleep because, you know, it was bad. I was assist feeding it, and it was eating upside down on its head and stuff. And I thought, like, I'm being cruel by keeping it alive. So I took that and got it put to sleep. But apart from that, they're the only. That hatchling was the worst case I'd ever seen, apart from all the crap you see on YouTube, where people will go and find the absolute worst case scenario.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. You won't get half the comments if you put a normal looking spider doing normal things. That's
no.
You know, people look for attention, and
yeah. When the IHS banned Spider from the shows and stuff like that, obviously it got over to the States, didn't it? And everyone over there, Brian Barczyk and that, did a big video on it and why it shouldn't. And then Kevin did one, and it, you know, everyone started doing. Well, there was this kid, and he was talking about how bad a head wobble he had with his spider, and he picked it up and he put it down, and he whacked the spider's head off the table as he put it down. And he just got, yeah, the spider head wobbles terrible. I said, yeah, you whack my head off the table. My head wobble would be bloody.
Fuck it hell. Shit, man. What year was it that they stopped having spiders at the show? Was it like 2017, something like that?
2017, 2018. I think they passed the legislation, I suppose you'd call it. They passed it in 2017, and I think when they first enforced it, it was the first show of 2018.
Right.
But they're not doing the best job of it. Since then, I've walked around Doncaster and I've seen spiders on the table. Might not be a single gene spider, but the animal's got spider in it, you know. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember Gav doing a video on it. I didn't know the other guys in the States jumped on it as well.
Yeah. You know, it annoyed me, the IHS doing that. It's like, you know, in the States, they have USR that'll fight for the rights, and you are not stopping us selling Spider and that. IHS, you can't sell it anymore. They'll tell you what to do, and you've got to do it if you want to go to the shows.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help. We pretty much only have one show, which is run by the IHS. There's no other like independent shows. I mean, there used to be what's his name? Was it Chris Jones?
Chris Jones, yeah.
And now
I've never been
out.
Yeah. Shame to see him go. He's, Chris has been about for a long time, and he's again, some of the Dinker stuff that he's had and was working with right up till now. He's all amazing animals and stuff like that. But there's a lot of people leaving at the minute for whatever reason.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of people leaving, but I think there's even more people getting into it now. Whereas years ago there was people leaving and they weren't being replaced by anyone. Not being replaced, but there wasn't anyone coming into it. But now I think there's 10 to 1 people getting in, then getting out of it. I mean, it's just blowing up, and obviously I haven't been in it that long, but I can see that it's just gone crazy. Especially since lockdown, I think there's been so many people pop up, and I think it might be like the emergence of Instagram and stuff like that, which has helped as well. Because up until lockdown, I didn't do Instagram at all. I had a personal account on Instagram, which I had like one picture on, and then sort of got bored in lockdown and started doing Instagram. And then obviously with the Instagram lives and stuff like that, people kind of get to know who's who. And I mean, Instagram's brought this hobby forward quite a lot, I think.
Yeah, it's like you say, it's out there a lot more, innit? I mean, how many people have walked past Doncaster and seen the big lines going down the street thinking, what are they all lining up for? Let's have a look, go in and buy the first snake and stuff. And
Still there? Oh, there you are.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't know what that's about. Bloody technology.
What are you saying? Like people walking past Donny and walking in?
Yeah, and seeing what it's all. We're all out of bed I leave the house for Doncaster probably about 7 in the morning, and that on a Sunday. There's got to be something worthwhile getting up at that time on a Sunday morning to drive an hour and a half up the motorway for most of the day. And how many people have seen the lines and thought, we'll go in and have a look and come out with a snake, or people walking past pet shops and getting food for their hamster and see a little reptile section at the back that, most of us in this hobby, not just ball pythons, like the whole reptile keeping hobby, I'm pretty sure it'll have all started in a pet shop that happens to sell reptiles.
Yeah. That's a good point you bring up. Like pet shops used to have the reptile bit at the back. They've come a lot forward. Like they're more close to the front of the stores, I think now, reptiles, because I think they're more popular than a lot of animals now. Obviously it's got a lot to do with, obviously you can find out how to keep them, how to look after them online a lot easier nowadays as well, stuff like that. But yeah, I know a lot of people who have said they'd rather get a reptile than, like, say, if a guinea pig or a rabbit or something like that. Just
Yeah.
easy to handle. I mean, like you say, only take 20 minutes, like a week to look after. Really, one snake.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah. Feed it
yeah,
once a week. It
yeah,
doesn't eat box. It doesn't like want to share the bed with you at daft o'clock in the morning. It doesn't sit at the door crying because you're not letting it in the bedroom and stuff. And you know, it's a rat
yeah,
a week. What, pound a week or something like that
yeah, yeah,
for a rat? You know, it's great. It's the ideal pet, isn't it?
yeah. You can leave for like 3 or 4 days and come back and not have a worry.
Yeah. Yeah.
You couldn't do that with
Yeah.
a rabbit or a guinea pig. You come back and something be smelling bad.
Yeah. 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 Whole different story. And you'll have to explain to the kids where Flopsy's gone.
Yeah, yeah. Jane Royal, still haven't seen a DG in person. Pictures are not enough. You are missing out, mate.
Yeah.
For like we say, there's not many in person you can actually see at the minute, unfortunately.
No.
But give it 3 or 4 years, it'll just, you know.
Yeah, Sam's going to blow up the market.
Yeah. What else we got saying? Sam saying he's been breeding 3 years and already seen people come and go.
I think a lot of it as well is when you watch YouTube and you see the sort of lifestyle that Brian Barchett lives, or even Justin, Kevin, and that, you know, people in the States on the whole, and you see Miguel with a God knows how many car garage, a Lamborghini, and the was it the Pontiac that Paul Walker drove and stuff like that. People are thinking, all that because of breeding snakes. Yeah, I'll have a bit of
that. Yeah.
And when they realise that, you know, you'll never be a millionaire over here from snakes, I think they get a bit bored and sell everything on and move on to the next venture.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree. And people pick up and drop hobbies like nothing as well. I mean, I've had hobbies, whereas this one, I'm pretty sure I'm here to stay. This one is just, I just feel so chilled out when I'm in my snake room. It's unreal. And like, if I got rid of all mistakes, I'd be like, well, where the fuck am I going to go to relax now? Like, I don't really like drinking. I'm getting old now. These hangovers are not to be fucked. Now, after you hit like 25, you're fucked basically on a hangover.
Well, as you get older as well, man, they start lasting longer and
yeah. So yeah, I'm 37 now, so yeah, I never want a hangover again. You know, you're talking like 2 days off work, I think.
Yeah.
So, and like you say, you'd rather got better things to spend my money on than alcohol. I don't mind the occasion. I'll probably drink like 3 times a year.
Yeah, see, I don't even drink that. I used to and that, but now I can't be bothered with it. I'd rather sit down with a cup of coffee and like stick on a YouTube video or something rather than go out, spend the old price of beer these days about 200-300 quid. That's a deposit for a nice snake. That.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's a night out. Yeah.
Then waking up in the morning scared to look at your phone because you don't know what you said and who you said it to.
Yeah. And it, you know, the worst thing is you can go out now and just use your card all night. Whereas like back in the day, you used to go to the bank machine and get how much you could properly afford to go. That's it. You may make a mistake when you're hammered and go back to that cash machine and get another 40 quid out or so, but it's dangerous just going to a nightclub with a bank card because, like I say, that's another thing you don't want to look at your phone. Obviously, you got your bank apps on your phone. You think, this ain't gonna be good. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much done with all that. I've lived that life.
Yeah, And the best thing is you can be sat on your phone now. You can find a snake on your phone. You can pay for a snake on your phone, and you can order the snake to be dropped off on your phone. You don't have to move to.
Yeah. Are you saying that's a good thing or a bad thing? Because it can be considered both sometimes.
Yeah, it all depends, doesn't it? It's like if the missus knows about it, then and it's great, you know.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
all systems go. But if you've got to tell her, I've just spent £650 on this. What do you think? And she doesn't like it.
Yeah. Sleeping on a sofa.
Yeah. Go and sleep in your snake room then. See if that keeps you warm at night.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, what's the saying? Forgiveness is easier to get than permission.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, my missus is really supportive with it. She'll ask me how much I spent, and she'll just what you're planning on doing with it. There's no arguing over it or anything.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, I'll run it by her anyway. I'll always talk to her about it and stuff. So yeah.
Standard flat. Thinking of the spider ban, I've written to the IHS and asked them to ban pinstripe. Twat. So going back, you said you've paired a spider this season. What was the pairing there?
It's a banshee female, which is a fire phantom spider, to a GHI male.
Okay.
The end result out of that is a lot GHI phantom.
Right. Okay.
It's GHI is one of them. You've seen a few. I think Luke Mills and Gavin's got the GHI Mojave Hypo.
Yeah. The grey looking snake. That's unreal.
But a GHI Mojave and a GHI Phantom are pretty much the same thing. They look the same, and that I just want to know will it look as good in the GHI Phantom as it does the Mojave Hypo.
Yeah, so I've got a GHI Mojave female who's knocking on 1,200 grams now, and I'm at a crossroads. I don't know whether to go ghost route this year or clown route this year. I just do not know which way to go. I'll probably flip a coin. I just don't know which way to go. I mean, yeah, I want to get GHI into clown as well because I think that looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
the hypo GHI Mojaves are just. I mean, I think the GHI Mojave Ghost. I don't even think I want that because then I can go on to this and do this. You just want it to sit in your collection and just open that drawer every so often and just look at it and go, oh, God.
Yeah, but you see, the way you look at it, that's the way to look at this hobby. It's like, yeah, well, I've produced that now. Now, how can I better it?
Yeah.
Thinking, yeah. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, I know you. I know I would because obviously you got it sitting in your rack. You're gonna use it somehow, but like I just don't know. Like I don't know right now. What is what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Once I've got it in my rack, I wouldn't know what to do with it. But I guess I'd find something to use it to. Absolutely, even stick that to a visual clown and go for the double recessive version.
Yeah, I was gonna say make double hypo clowns and put the two together and
yeah. And then you got something on your hands as well. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, that'd be an amazing looking animal.
Yeah, just thinking about that actually. Yeah.
Mojave hypo clown.
Yeah.
Oof. I think that's something to behold. What a hell of a powerful animal.
Absolutely. So, what is there any gene that you don't have that you really want to add in your collection?
Um, hmm. Yeah. Snow Queen. Gav's Gavin has got his own line of calico sugar. It's white ciders,
Yes, yes,
and
I had talking about it last night.
yeah, and I'd love to have one of them. Yeah. I mean, it's the ones that I've seen have always been a higher expression of white than any sugar or calico or anything like that. It's just a really nice line of it. So I'd like to get that in so I can put some blackhead stuff to it. And Cypress would be another one.
Absolutely, yeah. Cypress on my list.
Yeah.
Cypress is another one that's blowing up at the minute, and you can't get for love or nor money. So obviously, yeah, being on Gav's Patreon, kind of as soon as they drop, I think if he's selling any, they'll go like bang, gone.
Yeah. Which one are they?
Yeah, the Cypress, absolutely. I think.
Oh yeah, I think they're all going to be Het Ultramel as well.
Oh, damn, man. Yeah, Ultramel for me is a project I'd like to get into further down the road. You know, I've got things going on at the minute that I'm trying to produce and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, once I've hit that, I'd love to get Ultramel in and bung some of the stuff I've made into Ultramel. So yeah, there's definitely because I was kind of like before Ultramel, you couldn't really, like you say, there's not many Ultramels about.
No.
So I was looking at the Monarch for a little while, which is just a more expensive, darker looking Ultramel. But yeah, I'll probably go absolute Ultramel route eventually. Up until recently, I hadn't seen one in the flesh, and then I saw one. I was like, oh, yeah, that actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, mine is like he's getting on a bit now. He'll be breeding next year. I think he's going into shed as well. But even going into shed, like the color on that guy is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He's still got his purples and stuff like that still stand like to the day that he hatched. Is he'll be a key animal over the next couple of years. Go on, in you go. Yeah, there's a lot of females that will be seeing him in the near future.
Wicked, good. Like to hear it. So how many ball pythons do you own at the minute, roughly?
Probably just a look round. 80.
80. Okay. Have you got room to expand, or are you at capacity now? Or
no, I've got another 11 tubs there empty, or V70s, so more breeder females in there. There's right behind me is a 30 tub one. There's room in there, and obviously, as I move people into there, I'm freeing up more space in my hatchling and grow on racks and stuff like that. So, and when I move the berm on and that, that'll give me room for probably another 2 racks along there when the time comes. So,
okay, yeah, plenty of space still. Then, yeah, that's a proper old school rack behind you.
What's what? Sorry,
I said that's a proper old school rack behind you.
Yeah, it is. It's sturdy, solid. It's I'm not sure if it's a Euro rack. I
I
think
was
it
about to
is.
say, is it a Euro rack?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's it has starred in other videos.
Right. Okay.
That's it. I bought that and another breed of female rack off Gavin.
Yeah.
When he got his LP ones there, I got in first for them. I had them booked like I think it was probably 12 months before he got his LP ones and that.
Yeah. So you quite good friends with Gav?
Yeah, you know, like obviously Gavin says with the Balls to You brand is that no one wanted to help him and stuff like that. You know, he's helped me out a lot over the years. Probably to the point where he probably dreads seeing my name appear on my phone and stuff like that because anything happens, it's like, let's see what Gav's got to say about it, or you know, it's we'll we'll say this and then we'll leave it. You know, we don't want to get in a big head or anything. Is one of the few people in the hobby that the guy that you see on the YouTube videos and stuff at Doncaster is the guy that you see when you go around to his house to pick up a snake or something like that. He's there. He'll help anybody, no matter what it is, and that. So, I mean, I originally I only went and got a group of multis off him, and then like I don't think there's a year gone by where I've not had a snake off him and spoke to him about the next season and stuff, and I'll get me orders in.
Yeah,
But
no, I completely agree what you're saying about Gav. I mean, I've sort of recently had it firsthand where I had a kind of issue, and just out of the blue, he's just like, "Oh, give me a call, we'll talk about it." I was just like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not, you know, it's just that bit of reassurance in it. I mean, he shares the stuff that he's learned over the years that not a lot of people do. And it's just that little bit of reassurance. You're ringing him and say, well, and he'll never, he doesn't tell you what you should do, what you need to do, and stuff like that. It's like he'll say, if that was my snake, I'd do this, or if that, you know, just help and advise and not tell you what you do and don't need to be doing because, you know, you see it all the time, don't you? It's like, well, I'm this far and I've been doing this for this long, and because I do it this way, that is the way to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You can't, you know, you'd struggle to find someone to talk to with more experience under his belt as well.
Yeah, and
doing it so long.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched Gavin's YouTube channel grow over the years as well, and like, I remember he was in a little box room. It was literally a little box room, and he was saying he'd be happy with 20 breeding males, and I think it was 10 breeder females and stuff. And then every year, every breeding season, he's done some sort of video, repeated videos and stuff like that to help people, you know, to put it out there. The beginning of the breeding season's coming up to egg season. This is how I set up an egg box for people that don't know. You know, you put that on Facebook and you've got no business breeding animals. You should have researched all this to start off with. And, you know, it's just, there's no need for it.
Guess that's why he doesn't do Facebook.
Yeah.
So,
you know,
so how long ago was it you actually went and got some multis from him? Like, how long have you?
Bloody hell. Probably about 4 years ago.
4 years ago. Okay. So So you picked up some Maltese from them. Do you actually breed your own rodents now? Or
Yeah, breed. I was sort of self-sufficient at doing it, sort of thing, but I made a terrible mistake. Like, I had a big 6 foot freezer, and it was just for rodents and stuff. And it got to the point that the rodents were that prolific at breeding that I had no more room for them. I had nowhere. I thought, I'm going to have to try and get rid of some of these. So I called back some of my breeding groups. I froze a load of what I had, and I sold a load of what I had in the freezer. I pretty much emptied the freezer and filled it back up again.
Yeah.
What I didn't take into account was, because I've cut down on the size of the breeding colonies, that I'm not producing as much. And we had a baby last year, and obviously we're working, coming in, sorting the snakes out. I was coaching rugby at the time because, you know, there was no such thing as COVID. And then going out feeding the rats 7 hours, there just wasn't enough hours in the day. So eventually the stuff in the freezer ran out. I wasn't producing enough to fill it again. So I've been buying them for the last sort of year now. It's a lot better to be breeding your own, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Especially from a breeding point of view, when you've got hatchlings, I feed live for the first feed, just to kick in that instinct of a snake, you know, to hunt, coil and kill something. And I have a higher success rate like that. But even though the quality of the frozen that's about there now is good, you know, there's some really good suppliers, but the scale they're doing it on, the rodents that you've got in your shed are going to be kept better, treated better and stuff like that. So it's just more quality in it.
Yeah.
Quality in, quality out, as the saying goes.
Yeah. Do you just do rats, or do you do Maltese as well?
Do rats, mice, and Maltese.
Okay.
Do
you do the rats and the mice I'm guessing in the same facility?
Yeah.
So I heard that if you do them in the same place, that the mice can smell the rats and they don't breed as good. Have you had that?
Yeah. I've heard it. I've never really experienced it. In fact, if anything, I'd say the mice are better than the rats or the Maltese for breeding, because with Maltese or African soft furs, they're not from Manchester. They don't know what the how to deal with a cold and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they stop breeding and stuff like that. So it slows them down. But mice, they'll just go through it. So I had the lad at the door then pointing and waving at something. I don't even know what he's trying to say. The kids.
Yeah, I'm struggling with my Maltese at the minute. Just they've stopped breeding. If they do breed, like the babies only last a few days. So I'm guessing my colony's sort of coming to its end.
Have you only got the one colony, like?
So yeah, I used to have 3. I culled them all down. And I just left the one that was producing at the time, and they've sort of slowed and sort of stopped. I've only sort of kept them around because I've got one snake that feeds on live Maltese. It's the only reason I've still got them. But I'm still going to need them, so I guess I'm going to have to go and get a new colony, I think, and start again.
You know, any grow-ons?
What's that?
You not got any grow-outs, any grow-on rodents? Weaners or anything?
Yeah.
Start another colony. Yeah.
I can do, but I think I just want to start again. Do you know what? I fucked up and I produced like an albino one,
Yeah.
and now they're all albino. I can't stand the sight of the fucking albino ones now. So yeah, I think I think I'm gonna cull them all off or just
Yeah.
feed
I
them
did
off.
the same thing. I had an albino pop up in mine, and obviously I bred him to females, and then I put the groups back and all that. And obviously, it's the same way genetics work with the snakes, isn't it? Obviously, like somewhere along the lines, you're going to have a couple of het albinos in your colonies, and they're going to meet.
Yeah,
And yeah, it popped up out of nowhere, and I've noticed that the albino ones grow slower. No matter how much you pump them with food or anything, you can put them in a food bag to live in a Dr. John's bag to live, and they wouldn't grow. It'd take a multis take long enough as it is.
yeah. Right, that's decided for me. They're all curtains then. Fuck it. They're all done.
I've just them to death.
Yeah. Sign a death warrant. What's going on? Evening stew. Late to the party. Yeah. One more tension. It's not good enough, mate. It's not good enough. So I guess this year you've started breeding early. Once you up the amount of females you're breeding per year, would you be happy to breed all year round?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, even getting that clutch late in it hatched in December, so got it October time.
Mm-hmm.
You think about it I feed over 2 nights anyway.
Yeah.
So when I've got the hatchlings, then there's a third night, and then inevitably, we breed royal pythons. There's gonna be awkward feeders, so there's gonna be a night where you feed all the ones that eat, and a night that you're gonna sit there and say you got two that you've got to assist feed or put live in with that you got to sit there and watch it. Nothing happens in that, and then you constantly cleaning out tubs and doing water and stuff like that. There comes a point where I love unplugging the incubator, just not walking into my snake room and hearing the fan going and having that little bit of time just to get yourself ready for it again mentally and get your females feeding and it gives you time to. I sit in the snake room and just look around the rubs and tubs and stuff and work out my projects. Sit there with a pen and paper and work stuff out and that I don't think you can do while you're constantly trying to look after and sell surplus and stuff like that. There's got to be a break.
Yeah. Okay. I get that. So how many do you have a number in your mind, like how many breeder females would be enough for you? Like
30 to 40. Obviously it's coming, I'm at the point now where I'm making this season really is mostly about making hets and stuff like that. There's a couple of double het projects there as well that I've had one ovulation from the Exantic and Clown. So, you're going to keep 2 or 3 females back off that. Next year, when I do make double hets for Ultramel Pied, you're going to keep 2 or 3 off of that and stuff like.
Yeah.
And alternate the females, giving one a year off here and there, sort of thing, and using another one. So yeah, I'd say about 30 or 40, but I wouldn't necessarily use all of them every season, sort of thing.
Right. Okay. Have you given any females this year off?
Yeah, I'm working with a Dinka G, and she's produced 3 years on the bounce up till last year. And last year I thought, yeah, I'm going to give her a chance, and I'm going to leave one of her sons to grow up to put back to her and to see if there's a super.
Okay.
She had other ideas, and she had a parthenogenesis clutch.
Oh.
So she didn't want the year off. So this year I've not paired her this year, and she ate on Monday. So yeah, I think we're good for this year.
I mean, yeah, working with snakes at the end of the day, you can make plans to do what you want, but they're still going to do what they want to do at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's mad. I don't know of any other species other than reptiles that can do parthenogenesis and stuff like that, but it's fascinating, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
how a woman can literally go and fuck herself and get herself impregnated. It's interesting. There's always something different happening with them. It's not the same stuff as it is with a dog or a cat. Or
yeah. So when did she do that clutch? Did you say this year or last year?
Last year.
Okay. So I thought I heard somewhere with the Partho clutches that sometimes they don't get up to adulthood. Sometimes they can die.
Yeah,
I've kind of heard.
Yeah, I'd say up to now, yes and no. So in that one season, she proved herself out to be het hypo. She threw 2 hypo babies. I think that she proved that there was a super. And she had normals in the clutch as well. The one that I thought was a super, that was weird. That it's every time I'd feed it, it's sort of the bottom of its mouth would swell up and down its throat. I took it to the vets, and they checked the teeth and stuff like that. I did cultures thinking there might be infection there. There was nothing there. So I'd feed her for 2 or 3 days. The face would be massive. It'd go down, and I'd hum and har about, should I feed her again? Should I get a tube fed or something like that? But I went to feed her one day, and she was dead in the tub. Right. That was the only one that actually died. So, okay. I mean, they're only coming up to a year old. Okay. So, we'll see what happens and see if they keep going or not.
Yeah. I suppose you hit the odds on a female. You wouldn't mind to go back to itself as Partho. You got it.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Look at Miguel. We were talking about Miguel before. Last year, he was trying to make double hets, puzzle and something, and the female gave herself parthenogenesis. He hit 4 female puzzle hypos in one clutch.
Shit, man. I didn't see that video. Shit, man.
And I remember him watching it, and he was cutting him, and he was like, I hope this isn't another one. And it was, oh, look, a puzzle hypo female. And put I'd have been losing me shit. You'd hear me from where you live.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you'd hear me as well if I hit that. Shit, man. Big man to the building. Hello, Gav.
Mr.
Another
blowing
late one.
smoke up his ass.
So if when I should say when you get up to 30, 40 females, do you have a ultrasound in a minute, or is that something you'd like to purchase in the future? Or
See, I'm on the fence about it. I have used, well, I haven't used. I had my female ultrasounded this year. When the lad came and ultrasounded them, they were all like 20 to 30 millimeters in the follicle growth, and that was all without an incubator, without an ultrasound. So apart from it being a fancy toy that you've got, is it something that you really need to spend 750 quid on? If you're having success without it, it's a difficult one. I mean, it'd be a nice toy. It would be a nice toy, and then
yeah,
I suppose this year I've been lucky, where pretty much everything I paired has grew follicle and gone. It might be easy when you've got a year where you're pairing your males and you're just looking at the female, she's smashing food all the way through it, and instead of carrying on wasting that male, keeping on pairing him, and just, especially if he goes off food or anything, it'd help to finally make that decision to go, yeah, right, we'll call it a day, we'll stop pairing the male to her. But I don't know. I mean, even like Gavin says himself, he's had success for years before he had his.
Yeah.
It's a difficult. It's not going to put the ultrasound isn't going to put eggs in a snake. So is it really that important to have one?
I think it is handy for, like you say, not necessarily the females, but the male. It depends, if you've got a male going to maybe 5 females, it just saves that male if you know what the females are doing. In that way, it can be handy. But like you say, if you have a success without it, and you say you've got a male going to maximum 2 girls a season, then I don't necessarily think you need it. I mean, if you're putting the male in every month, it's going to go or it's not going to go. A ultrasound won't change that.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of money to lay out for something that you don't necessarily need, and hobbyist breeders, apart from potentially saving your male's life because you're overworking it, pairing it for something that's not going to happen, and that we don't rely on that snake laying eggs for an income. So whether it does or it doesn't is it. If you've got it in your head that she's not going to lay and you just want to stop pairing and move on to something else, you don't need an ultrasound for that to tell you you're fighting a losing battle.
Yeah. So Morph Matrix asks, can you get can Patho give a super? You reckon the one that passed on was a super, right?
Yeah. Well, they say that a powerful clutch is the female giving the 2 copies from itself. So because the males in every species are the ones that determine the sex. So because there's no male involved, she's got to give both copies of a female self to the thing. So it makes sense that the 2 copies of herself as well, the gene that's in play, the 2 copies will make a super. I've seen people have Patho clutch off a Mojave, and they've got a bell from the clutch.
Right. Okay.
So,
so was that your first Partho clutch?
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a video on YouTube that Gavin did with Travis from Snakes and Bakes and stuff like that, and he explained the way that parthenogenesis works and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I'll try and find it. I'll put it in the description below. You can pay me later, Gav. So, how many clutches have you actually got in incubator at the minute? You say 4?
3.
3.
Yeah.
When's your next girl supposed to lay?
And see, this is a bit of a mystery. It will be, I think, either the end of the first week or beginning of the second week of April, because she had a pre-lay shed, but she did it in a hide. So I didn't know she shed. Like I kept looking in and couldn't see the shed. So one day I was picking up the hide to spray the enclosure down, because I'd usually go under it. I sprayed past her and under the hide onto the hotspot, and I took it out because she was lying on top of it, and I couldn't shut the drawer again. So I took it out and lifted it up, and there was the shed under the hide. So yeah, I don't know.
So it's just gonna be a surprise for you.
Yeah, it'll be coming into the room every morning until from now till when there's eggs, and then I'll know.
Yeah. So out of all your parents, have you got a most anticipated?
Yeah, the one I had the other day and the next clutch, they're both from a banana pastel clown, and I think it will be a female maker. I've been speaking about this for the last 2 years, so it'll be happy to know whether I can put an end to that thought, whether it'll even make females or it won't.
Right, I see. Okay, something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Do you do YouTube or anything at all?
No. I was nervous enough about doing this tonight. I don't think I could stand in front of a camera talking to myself, and I'd have the kids and the missus at the door pissing themselves laughing. I'd never live it down.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I can hide myself away in my snake room and do shitty videos myself. So yeah,
lots of people can do it and stuff like that. Good props where they're due, and that I couldn't.
Do you know, I spent probably so long trying to do my first video, and I wasn't even in it. I was just recording my snakes, like feeding. But I kind of, it is getting a bit easier now. The more I do, obviously the easier the editing and stuff gets, because you sort of know what buttons you've got to press and stuff like that. But no, I mean, doing this as well is getting a bit easier as well. I mean, the first one I was papping myself, like a nervous wreck. But it's just getting a bit. It's getting a bit like the norm now. Just just chatting away.
Yeah, you get swing of things, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like starting a new job. You don't know what the fuck you're doing the first few weeks, and then it's like you get a month in and feel like you've been doing it all your life, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So what do you actually do for a job?
See, that's the other thing. Is like me and technology, we're not the best of friends. Like, internet's crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, Virgin Media sent us a new modem and stuff like that. So, oh yeah, we'll upgrade your internet for free because you've been a valid customer for so long. The old incubator, the old modem was better than this one. It's like there's only certain areas in the house you can get signal from it and stuff.
It's funny it cut out when you're saying technology and you don't get along.
Yeah, yeah. On a computer, if I press a few buttons, it tells me to go back to pen and paper. I'm really not good with it. It's so doing videos and all the editing and stuff like that. It's not for me.
So I guess, do you still record all your data on pen and paper?
Pen and paper, mate. Yeah, it's never failed me yet.
Yeah, you're not even considering like trying the Husbandry Pro or something like that?
I am on Husbandry Pro. I was even one of the few that paid for it, and setting that up, I was struggling with it. I was trying to find out to input animals and stuff, and it just wasn't working. And like I got so far into it, and like then you started saying about printing off the QR codes and that. Like, how the fuck do you do that? So yeah, I'll stick to photocopying the sheets the missus made for me.
Yeah. So what do you do for a day job?
At the minute, bits of everything. I'm a mechanic by trade, but a couple of years ago, I knocked that on the head and started teaching sport in schools. Working for a company that in primary school. Do you remember when we were in primary school where the teacher that you had should get ready for PE, or he'd take the shoes off and put a pair of trainers on and take the tie off, and then that'd be your PE lesson.
Yeah.
Teachers don't do that anymore. So they get us to come in and take the class out, do the PE lesson or after school club or whatever, and go and sit in the staff room for an hour and go on Facebook or Morph Market.
Yeah. Sit in the staff room, bang some tea and coffee, a few bourbon.
Yeah. So because we don't actually work for a school, we're seen as outside agencies.
Yeah.
Since all this shitstorm has started, I've been on furlough since August.
Right.
So I've just started working for myself at the minute, just odd job, man. Doing bits and bats or whatever. So yeah,
I guess at the minute it's kind of you got to do what you got to do at the minute, and then once everything goes back to normal, you can sort of get back to what you're kind of doing.
And to be honest, I'm enjoying it. You know, being my own boss, different stuff every day.
Yeah.
So
you're not doing repetitive shit every day. Every day is different, I guess.
Yeah. Well, before Christmas, I was working. I'm sure you've heard of Hermes. Curry. Yeah. I was working in the warehouse for Hermes, and it was just mind-numbingly boring.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do it. So after Christmas, when the work died down, I just thought I'm gonna have to do something else and put some leaflets about in shop windows and stuff. And I've been working non-stop, really.
Yeah, that's good then. That's good. So when I run an events company, so I haven't worked doing that for about a year now. So when I think it was about August last year, I started actually doing deliveries for Amazon. I can. It's all right. And then they're sending down luckily I've got a 4x4, and they were sending me down roads that were designed for tractors and stuff like that. And if I had a normal car, I'd have been stuck more than once. I was like, nah, fuck this. I'm not doing this anymore.
I couldn't spend all day driving for a job. It's not. I like driving. I quite enjoy driving. What I don't like is the fact that there's other people that use the road, and none of them can drive. They just piss me off.
Yeah.
So
Especially, you're Manchester, right?
Yeah.
Fucking traffic everywhere, but
it's mad.
Yeah. So, are you a red or a blue?
I'm from Manchester, mate. I'm a blue.
Oh fuck. Okay. All right. Let's move on.
Probably best.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Southern fans.
I've made it to a few games. Well, not recently, obviously, but no. I actually think the last game I went to is when you came to Old Trafford and beat us 3-1 in the League Cup.
Oh bloody! That's going back a bit, isn't it? With when we had Tevez playing for us and all that.
No. This was only a couple of seasons ago, and we actually beat you at the Etihad 1-0, but you went through 3-2.
Yeah.
I think if I'm not mistaken, that was like January 2019. So yeah, that was probably one of the last games I went to before we actually got locked down. No, it might have been 2020 actually. Yeah, it might be one of the last games I went to before it was locked down. So
you'd be loving to get to the games now as well, won't you? Top 4 finish for you lot this year.
Seriously, right? If someone said, if you'd have finished second, I'd have bit their hand off at the start of the season. So I'm not complaining one bit.
Yeah. Ollie looks like he's got his team sorted, and he saved his job this year.
Yeah. At the start of the season, though, I was like, get him out. Let's get Poch in. But obviously, he's gone somewhere else. So I'm thinking, might as well stick with Ollie for a bit. But anyway,
manager that you've had in the last 10 years, isn't it?
Quite true, mate. Quite true. So, when you come to sell snakes and hatchlings and whatnot, what is the best platform for you, Morph Market, or do you sell your snakes elsewhere?
Morph Market. Sold a few through Facebook and stuff like that, but obviously you've got to be a bit more discreet nowadays, haven't you?
Yeah. I know there's a few Facebook pages where you can put there's codes with certain emojis for the price and what size it is and what sex it is, and but then I just don't bother. I think I'm still part of that group, but what's the point? I don't think I've ever sold a snake on. No, I don't think I've ever sold one on Facebook. I think I kind of joined the hobby a bit too late, where it's actually legal to flog a snake on Facebook.
Illegal. Zuckerberg said so, therefore it is law. The thing with Facebook and stuff like is you'll have loads of interest. You'll have but when it comes down to actually finalizing things and that, people seem to disappear off the face of the planet, or
get fucked around.
Morph Market is probably the best way to go about it. I see. I have a lot of people as well that have bought snakes off me that straight onto me the next year. As soon as I get eggs or get babies and stuff, that straight onto me asking and stuff like that. So it's a lot of it is people coming back. I can't even think of the word for it.
Like return customers, sort of thing.
Yeah,
that can't be too bad. I mean, I've sold a few on Morph Market. I mean, to be fair, I've only had 2 clutches so far, ever, and I think I've sold 1 on Morph Market. The rest I've sort of sold by word of mouth, I think. And I my first season, I only bred a pastel to a lemon blast. So I got like a few normals, a few pastels and whatnot. And I don't think you can really sell them on Morph Market.
No.
I think I got rid of them on like Pre-Loved or something like that.
Yeah, Pre-Loved have sold a couple of snakes on. Yeah. I've also got well, you had him on. Was it last week, the week before, Andy Barton?
Yeah. Club More.
He's got one of the best reptile shops I've ever seen. Like the setup he's got there it's spot on, and some of the stuff that I've got he'll buy off me and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anyone else you want to give a reach round to?
Oh.
No. Yeah. Obviously, had him on a few weeks ago, and obviously, just speaking to him, he knows his stuff, and from what I saw, his shop looks pretty smart. Just from like the background he had when we were speaking, and I can't wait to actually get up and go see his shop, pop in one day when everything's like I say, everything's back to normal.
Whenever, what's normal? What is normal going to be now?
Yeah, that's the big thing at the minute. What's normal going to be? I mean, like, what was it 21st of June? In it, we're supposed to all the restrictions disappear, but are we still going to have to wear masks and stuff like this? Who knows? Are we still going to have to keep certain distance? Are we allowed to fucking hug someone?
This is it. You're allowed to go and see your mum. Exactly. It's got a bit spiraled. I mean, to be fair, we might come out of all the restrictions might start getting lifted again by, was it next week or something? I know sport can start going back next week and stuff like that.
It's the 12th of April, I think.
Yeah, that's when the non-essential shops. Oh, I can't wait! I can finally get my hair cut.
Yeah. What do you think? I'm wearing a hat.
But soon, all the kids are back at school again now. Numbers are going to plummet back up, and we're going to be locked down again before July, I'd say.
Yeah, possibly. But then, we slate this country and our government. We sort of said, they didn't do enough in that. But then you look around the rest of Europe, and we are some way ahead of the rest of Europe. Everyone sort of half the population's had a vaccine now, pretty much.
Yeah, I've had mine. Bloody hell!
Did you feel rough?
Yeah.
Did you have the Oxford one?
No, yeah, I had the Oxford AstraZeneca, and like, it's funny. I had that one. My sister had that one, and we felt my sister like messaged me asking me was she gonna die because she felt like apparently her heart was racing, and she's got one of them. Them watches that link up to your phone and tell you your fitness. Yeah. And she was watching that, her heart rate go up on that. She was watching it, so that was obviously making her heart rate go up. She was panicking. And then my dad, that is, one kidney, remission from cancer, sort of walking wounded, had his jab and he was fine.
Yeah, exactly. The same happened. So my old man had his a few weeks ago, and he was like flat out on a sofa for like 2 days. And then, so my mum went last week, and obviously she see what it done to my dad, and she was bricking it, and then she was fine.
Yeah, it reacts to people. I mean, I get the flu jab because I'm diabetic and I'm asthmatic and stuff like that. So I've got to go for a flu jab as well. But when I get that, I'm dying of flu.
Right, I see.
I react to that as well. But whatever I spent going through for them 48 hours, I reckon it's better than COVID.
No doubt, mate. So we've been on for just over 2 hours now, and I've got one more question to ask you, and then we're all done. Big scissors or little scissors?
Little scissors. Little scissors with blunt ends.
Right. Okay. Do you do the gav cut or the billy cut?
The gav cut.
Yeah, all day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Finally,
I say that Gavin does the Kieran cut.
Yeah, Gav will what's it? Trademark it or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying that though, I do a little bit of like bladesmithing and blacksmithing and that. And have you ever heard of Damascus steel?
No.
No, it's basically two different types of steel where it's layered on top of each other, and
Right.
you keep forging it down, and you put it in an acid, and it etches it, so you get all these patterns of the way that the different. Look it up after this, Damascus steel. So I'm thinking of making some scissors, like little egg cutting scissors with these nice little patterns in it, and starting my own little line. So I'll start selling them off and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you do that, you can come on and sponsor the podcast. Yeah. Okay. Wicked. Appreciate your time, Kieran.
Thanks for having us on, mate.
No worries. You to be fair, you like I said earlier when we were doing a sound check, you're the first person that actually reached out and wanted to do it. You know, half the time I got to drag these people on. I'm like, oh, come on, yeah, it'd be good for you. And people are like, oh, I don't know, I'm not really good with that sort of thing. Oh, fuck, come on, just get yourself out there. But no, I appreciate you jumping on. Yeah. It's been cool. 2 hours, all good. And I'll be excited to see what you produce this season.
Cheers, mate. Look forward to seeing what you hatch out as well.
Yeah. I'm quite happy. I've like I said, I've already got a clutch in the incubator, and I've had an ovulation the other day. So I'm going to produce more than what I did last season. So I'm already quids in.
As long as you're better last season, you're going in the right direction.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Anyway, mate, appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having us, mate.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Bye.
Woo! Another one in the books, people. Appreciate everyone in the comments tonight. I haven't read a lot of them. Let's just see what's going on. We talk about ultrasounds. Gas pack. Gav, you missed your reach around by Kieran. He was showing you a lot of love. So, like I say, people, if it's your first time here, please subscribe to the channel. Lots more coming for you. I've got a little announcement in a sec, but I've just stay tuned. I've got a big announcement coming up soon. That's all I'm going to say. So, 250 subscriber giveaway. We're getting there slowly. Could go there a bit faster. Free merch to give away. Who doesn't like free merch? Also, drop us a message who you'd like to see on the podcast. I'll try and make that happen for you. But the announcement is the next guest I have on, I've had to go prime time. So the next podcast will be on a Saturday night because I've got 2 guests on the next podcast. So the next podcast, I think it is the 3rd of April we're going for. And you'll find out who the 2 guests are in the next couple of days. So people, set your reminders. Saturday, the 3rd of April, it'll be me and 2 guests on the Snake Room podcast. And they're big hitters. That's all I'm going to say. Very excited. So anyway, appreciate you all sticking around tonight. Done 2 hours, 10 minutes, not quite 3 hours like last week, but you can't win them all. But Kieran was awesome. I had a really good time tonight. Anyway, guys, I'm now off to sort some stuff out in the snake room, my snake room, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you later, people.